Go for it.
The button has been slammered hammered.
We're live.
Okay, so
Hi, people.
Connor forgot to do his recap, so the quick and dirty of it is that you guys had recruited a new ally, Kale Ratchet Harlock. Ratchet turned out to be a pretty good chef. He wanted to hire you guys to go out and kill the Simian Syndicate. You staunchly refused, but still convinced him to join your guys' crew in exchange for 250 gold pieces and gun.
Gun!
From there, you guys went to the Red Rock compound to rig up traps on the ground. You guys made punji pits. You guys hid the punji pits with an illusion. You rigged the ship down there to explode. After rigging the ship to explode, Crow called you guys while you were long resting and said she was going to teleport aboard. After teleporting aboard, you guys made some more planning, went back down, got drunk, and then Oliver came back upstairs, had a heart-to-heart with Serafina, and fell down the stairs and drug himself to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like a champ.
I made
That's what we're going to be picking back up. You guys have just finished off your guys' long rest. 17 hours remain.
Wait, am I still long resting, or is everyone else? Because we were up for not too long. It's just I got shit faced drunk, and I'm like, oh.
No, I counted this as part of your guys' long rest. Like, basically, you guys got interrupted while you were long resting, and then just went back to long resting.
Okay.
I didn't count off the extra time you guys were up.
I want breakfast.
All right. Well then, I just play a little cheery tune, everyone, and inspire everyone with heroic inspiration.
Hooray!
I'm feeling very inspired.
Inspire to eat.
As your captain, I enjoy you to enjoy these meals. I command you to.
Why aren't you enjoying these meals? I specifically requested it.
I told you to have fun. Why is there no fun?
You guys hear the creaking sound?
Choose a meal here that you would like to request from Ratchet. Modest, comfortable, wealthy, or aristocratic.
A omelet.
Can I get a bacon, egg, and cheese? And a cinnamon bagel, please.
We're gonna call this a comfortable one.
Do you know how expensive cheese is out in space?
You what about the cheese? Bacon?
Could you make a grilled cheese sandwich with Wednesday Bale and then put ham on top of that into I don't know.
So,
Benedict on the side.
As you guys are waking up,
two eggs on the side or on it, or maybe you could cut a hole in the middle of the grilled cheese and cook the egg in that hole, so it's in the middle of the grilled cheese, and the cheese can be on the sides, and then so you have your egg and
You want a glory hole sandwich?
This?
Right. So wet eggs in a basket. Gotcha.
Are they babies? Are they babies?
Mm-hmm.
All of it's gone.
So at any rate,
Even
Ratchet gets your guys' food orders while you guys are waking up, getting yourself around, and you can hear him go off to the kitchen and begin cooking, clattering around. And very quickly, you guys begin to smell the cooking of soft meats, kind of like the salt rations you would have, and then all of a sudden, the sizzling of bacon.
Oh, I'm awake.
The frying of eggs, and then the whirring of a fucking blender. You don't own a blender.
You said the sizzling of bacon? I'm awake.
Yeah.
What is that god's awful racket?
The creaking hatch of my coffin cracks open, and I stand up very like 80s vampire-esque, where I'm like this, and I do like the 90-degree like lift up.
Where is your coffin in relative to the ship?
It's on the ceiling.
Oh, it's in the ship. If you go to just the very bottom map, I have it on the ship.
Oh,
yeah,
where?
I moved where your guys' ship was.
Did you put me on like? Did you put me in the cellar? Hold on.
You said you wanted it dark and dank, boy.
I always said
I
dank.
did not put him in a cellar.
I never said
There's
dark.
no
I
cellar
always said.
aboard the ship.
I always said dank. Where is it? Is that it?
It puts the soap on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
wait,
Oh
no,
my god!
that's
Somebody
no,
has to
that's
sleep
the-
next to
That's the
me.
Spelljammer helm.
That's the spell.
That's the Spelljammer helm. It's on the 3rd level,
Oh,
and I've got Alakazam sitting on top of it.
you got your own bed.
Aw.
Why are my pants on the ground?
It seemed like the thing he would do.
I'm fucking nasty.
Are those his pants?
Actually,
Maybe.
that looks like it could be like a
Pants
little.
are those, Dread.
That looks like it could be like a cot of somebody that I've like recently murdered. All right.
Why are you bringing any pills home with you?
From there, it's called a one night stand, Kelly. You don't understand.
That's a dresser. That's a
It's a one last stand, okay?
The last stand.
So while the bacon is sizzling 2 stories away, I come out of my coffin and I bring myself downstairs and I go, "Who's ruining the bacon?"
Good morning, Dread.
Good morning. How are you feeling today? I'm sure your head is throbbing and pounding and throbbing.
I rarely get hungover. It's not the first time I've had a good night's drink.
I'm sure. Now,
But thank you for your concern.
I can't even remember anything. Did I drink?
Café con leche.
again, are we making little requests for breakfast by chance?
Do you have one?
I do.
Let's hear it.
Wouldn't be asking unless he did.
Like, we're making requests just for ourselves, right? Like, the chef is, like, making individual requests.
Doing a lot of
Actually,
talking.
No, the chef
not a
is
lot of
not
telling
making
what
the
you want.
request. You're making the requests.
Fantastic. I'm gonna go back to my room.
Proceeds to not make a single request.
And I'm gonna go grab some of that lamb that I had.
So I'm getting my bacon, egg, and cheese toasted on a cinnamon roll with café con leche on the side.
Plot twist, it's Amalia. Amalia's in the kitchen.
So yeah, I won't.
I mean, if you would like to be in the kitchen with Ratchet, you could be.
She's been up since 4 a.m. Like,
Yeah, I'm just gonna bite off a piece of the lamb and bring it straight into the kitchen.
raw lamb.
And I'm just gonna be like, Ratchet, I know that you're a new chef engineer or whatever you like to call yourself, but I just like this on the
Like,
plate.
you see Ratchet on the tape, but, like, he's got his hands on the table, and he's got this weird device that's just going, brrrr.
Actually,
Yeah, what?
that looks
You
fucking.
guys have to speak up.
That looks fucking rad. Stuff this in that thing.
Yeah, give me a minute. I've got the eggs. We're making a quiche.
I don't care.
Amalia, how are the muffins coming?
No, the sheep's name wasn't Quiche. It was Baba Sheep.
Bob.
I don't
I
know.
would
Well,
like
its new
bone
name is
broth.
Button.
That's fine. His new name is gonna be Soup. So stick this lamb in that contraption. Pour it in a bowl, and I'm gonna have soup for breakfast.
In
Li-
what contraption? The meat grinder?
He said it's
He's
just
got a blender.
It's a blender,
Oh my god!
and I'm like, it can be a little bit chunky. It's okay. And then I leave it.
So is Amalia actually cooking the breakfast with Ratchet?
For sure.
Okay, so
Oh.
so you see every once in a while Ratchet reaches into a smaller bag on his hip to pull things out of. And he's always pulling out pieces of food that you guys definitely didn't have. Like, you guys did not have fresh eggs. He's pulling out a dozen fresh eggs. You guys definitely didn't have milk for this quiche. He pulls out a whole half gallon of milk.
Bro, he's the whole U.S. economy. What the fuck?
Wow, you sure do come prepared.
You know, you never know what you're gonna have to eat, so I found a pretty nifty magic item a long time ago, and it's fed me ever since, although there's no telling what it's gonna pull out. It just always seems to have what I need.
Wait, so where did you get this very nifty magic item?
What a Fey Temple.
Don't be messing with them, Faye. Cut it out.
So did you see it over?
I mean,
Oh,
it was just, like, there.
oh.
So it wasn't yours and you took it from a
I
Fey temple.
I suppose that's accurate, yeah. Not an altar, it was just, like, in the doorway.
It's on
Now that I
you.
think about it, there was also this really weird circle of magic mushrooms that were just, like, growing out of the rock. It was really weird.
Wait.
No, when he mentions the
Look.
Fae, I snap my fingers and bring my little dude into existence.
Can I do, like, a health check on him real quick? Because I remember when Dredd, like, even interacted with the water. Like, his whole arm turned red.
A health
Can I
check
just-
on whom?
On Ratchet.
Homest.
Yeah. Medicine check?
Yeah. Hey, buddy, I'm just... we're just gonna do a real quick wellness exam. Totally standard when you join a new crew. So,
Do I have to turn my
don't
head
even worry.
off?
Not for me, but Dredd will take care of that part of the wellness exam. That's his job.
Yeah, sure. I could do that. But now that you mentioned the Fae, I want to bring this little guy here into existence and just be like, if he's hungry by chance, like, what would he order?
That's a natural 20 plus 4.
Damn.
So, with a nat 20 plus 4,
I'm the best nurse on the planet.
also, your next attack does maximum damage.
Very nice.
Don't attack until it means it.
But yeah, with nat 20 plus 4, the characteristics of a green dragonborn, they may not be, like, super well known to you, but you've definitely read about them in a book, or heard about them from another cleric at some point. He seems like a fairly healthy, normal dragonborn. Like, you roll up his sleeves, you give him a chest check. He doesn't seem to have any weird mutations, other than the fact that he's almost 10 feet tall. He's huge. There's no reason for him to be this large.
Have you always been this tall? Did you hit a growth spurt?
Actually, yeah, pretty close after me and my crew cleared that temple.
Huh.
Totally natural.
Did any other, and there's no weird, like, markings or discolorations on his legs or anything that I can see, or on his waist or spine?
No,
Ask
he...
what happened to the rest of his crew.
Well, you know what happened to them ultimately.
Yeah. But, like, did they experience any physical changes?
He's like mixing up the eggs, pouring them into a dish, and he's like, "Oh yeah, one of them turned like just bright purple for the rest of her life."
Okay.
But other than that, I got bigger. She turned bright purple. We did find a shard of the Feywilds, but we ended up turning that over to the proper people.
That was very nice of you.
I mean, you just don't want anything to do with things that the Fae might want.
Yeah,
Who was the
like
proper
things
people?
that you find in their temple.
Oh, the proper people? That would have definitely been the Silent Dozers. I mean, who knows more about the Fae than they do?
Why do they know so much about the Fae?
Oh, well, they're Reef natives. Like, they've lived here since the Reef existed, basically.
Why does that make them Fae attuned?
Well, because it's Fey magic that holds the Reef. Like, off the planet, prevents it from falling.
You just see
Something about the Reef.
Oliver, you feeling okay?
I mean, no offense, I don't want to turn into wingdings.
Oh no, it seems to be really old. But some sort of magic prevented all the little asteroid pieces and parts of the Reef from falling back to the planet. By the way, here, have a muffin.
Is that a muffin?
I have one more question. I have one last question.
Sure.
These changes, did they happen to happen after you grabbed the sack, or was it specifically after you ate the food?
Oh well, we didn't eat any of the food out of the sack until much later. I'm pretty sure it was the Feywild shard that we had found.
Okay. If
I didn't.
If my skull could squint, I'd be squinting at him real hard.
I just look at everyone and it's like, hold on, before we really, I mean, I'm the taste tester. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and actually just, like, we're gonna settle this because wingdings. I'm thinking what you're thinking, and I was worried too that maybe this food is what caused his crew to change color and have different effects.
I'm gonna go to Wingdings and be like, $20, he grows a third arm.
I'll go ahead.
20 gold, eh?
Ratchet nudges you and goes, "You're
Eat a
on."
piece. I'll eat a
Ken
piece.
says he grows an actual mustache.
Oh
so as you
shit!
eat a piece of this food, the only thing that you notice is this is some of the best breakfast you have ever eaten. Like, this quiche, fucking mwah, perfect.
I'll try some quiche. Why not?
I just look at
Is that
everyone.
because
I'm like,
of the ingredients or because of Ratchet's abilities as a cook?
Give
Okay.
me an insight check.
okay, I'd like to also roll this too. Natural 20.
Hey,
shit.
good thing good thing we're using them all here.
4.
Oh, good, because I got a natural 1, so...
That took a sharp turn.
Okay. So, first off, you get a fate card. So now we have 2 fate cards in the party.
Yeah, baby. No, I think I used mine to
but
convince
second off,
that chick.
You did. Hold on. Never mind. Let me... but yeah. With a net 20 on insight, plus your modifier, you can tell that while his skills are good, it's the quality of these ingredients. Everything he's pulled out of that bag has been fresh. As in, it is a premier example of what that food should be. You couldn't get it off of a grocery store shelf this fast, this fresh.
I just look at everyone.
He's just pulling them eggs directly out of the chicken, huh?
Okay,
That's a weird fucking portal, my man.
I have to fully admit, this is probably the most evil food in the world because I cannot get enough of it.
I'd hate to see him pull out the bacon.
I think it's
If
safe,
anyone
folks.
would like, you could make me an Arcana or a History check. Maybe you've heard of something that can do this.
Yeah.
30-20.
I'm better at.
Do any of us know what a fridge is?
Yes, refrigerators.
I got a-
Yes.
I got a 17 on my history check.
15.
History? No,
So far, everybody's passed.
30-20.
History?
Or Arcana.
Ooh,
Either one.
you let me choose.
They're both -1. Which one?
Yeah, it's both -1 for me too.
That reminds me, Caleb.
Both
I
mine are
was-
zeros.
I told
15
4.
for history.
What was that? What was that, Kelly?
It reminds me. I told a group that I was training yesterday that I brought this for you, or I'll allow this because I am a kind and generous God. And one of them said, "Well, somebody's full of themselves this morning," and I was legitimately offended.
They just don't understand our culture. They just don't
They
understand.
don't.
You said you're training them? Fire them.
Yeah.
Ellerina, you recognize that what he's pulling this food out of, like, he reaches in and pulls out a couple of cold beers and just passes one to Delumbo.
It's the morning. What are you doing?
Well, nothing like no cure for the hangover, like fat food and a cold beer.
I don't know if I even drank last night, did I?
Oh yeah, you did.
Okay.
It's worse when you don't remember.
I'm scared the way he said.
Wait, Delumbo was drinking last night?
I mean, you guys didn't see him. He was a regular party animal.
Yep. Delumbo, I'm starting to question whether or not you have memory issues.
I mean, at his age.
It's unbecoming of an elf.
guy.
Are you saying I have
That's a
memory?
guilty racer.
It's just you're getting to a point where you don't remember what you've done. And that can be scary with an old man and a gun.
What I've done.
Please,
But yeah,
playing in the background.
Ellerina, you recognize that what he's pulling it out of?
Who is playing that?
This bag he keeps pulling food out of.
It's coming from Dred's fucking, like, shirt.
This bag he keeps pulling the food out of, is definitely a magic item. You can't really tell precisely or exactly what, but it has to be some sort of extraplanar item that is pulling things from another place.
Cool. Hardcast identify on it. I'll try to touch it and hardcast identify on it.
Like, hey, short sack, what's up?
No. Hold on. I have an individual being that is bound to me who can maybe help us identify.
Can I touch it? Because I want to know what it is. Maybe I can make one.
Well, I mean, I might like knowing what it is too. Sure, if you can tell me what it is exactly.
I hardcast identify on it.
So this is gonna take a minute. Alex, are you actually gonna pull out?
Freak? Yeah, I'll pull
Alec. Okay. So you pull out Alec's hand and he's like, "Hey, boss."
Hey, by the way, we're having a breakfast. Do you eat?
I mean, yeah.
Neat. Can you go identify that?
Bag of bounty.
That's a dick.
Bag of bounty, huh?
Yeah.
I wasn't interested if he's hungry. I was just letting him know that we're having breakfast.
What's a bag of bounties do?
Well, once a day, you could pull a meal out of it, like 3 times a day.
No, you said once a day.
I was wrong.
Yeah, once a day, 3 times a day.
Okay,
I'm not a fucking wizard, man.
What happens if you keep reaching in and you keep pulling out more goodies?
Well, I mean, eventually
Like if you
it
try to
runs
reach
out.
in 4 times.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's kind of run out. We have like eggs, we have toast, we have grilled cheese, we got bacon, we got... What else did everybody else order? We got a blender.
You said 3 meals, right? That's called breakfast.
I mean, yeah.
You mean you can
He
pull out...
He flips over and grabs somebody's beer and just starts drinking the beer. Like, he has to hold the bottle with 2 hands to pick it up.
So cute.
Okay, another question. What are the deep consequences for such an item?
Well, I mean, it depends on where you get it from. That one's definitely from Feywilds.
Yeah,
your
so
people,
what
things.
would be the outcome of a...
I don't know. I'm not his case manager.
Oh my god, what are you good for?
Sacrifice?
No.
Please don't. I mean, I can take a guess.
Yeah, please do.
He probably had to give something up, I don't know, a couple
His
years
shortness?
of his life.
Oh, Jesus.
thighs.
Ooh, that's a neat one.
Yeah, that thing is not supposed to be that tall. And I point at him.
Ooh, wait, you know what? Is he always chipper all the time? Maybe he gave up his downness. Huh?
No, because he was definitely filled with vengeance when we, met, when we interacted with him.
Yeah, now he also
last
seems
night.
happy at the same time. He's got both those things still on lock. Keep going. Keep going.
But he is taller than he was before. So if he gave up years of his life,
here?
no, yes, we're diagnosing you.
Exactly. Remember this whole wellness check thing? You just need to keep
Yeah,
cooking.
this is part of it.
Yeah, this is a part of it. This
I mean,
is our...
well, all the food's done. You guys have been eating for like 10 minutes.
Did you blend up
You
my... Okay,
also eat.
out of character. Did you blend my lamb?
No.
Then it's
He
not
did not.
finished. It's not finished.
He can't fit a whole lamb in the blender.
I asked for pieces to be put in.
He has a mouthful. He ripped it with his mouth.
Okay, he blends you up a lamb shake.
Ugh.
I love it.
It's gritty.
It's full of protein.
Gritty.
It's full of protein. You can't be mad at that. It's full of protein. It goes down chunky. Okay, so
Is it everything you hope for, Dread?
honestly, it's better than I thought. I'm gonna have to meet an individual who can really get me one of those, because this really puts puts a pep in my step in the morning.
Okay, but back on topic though. Let's say Alakazam that he used to be real short and now he is real tall.
Damn,
Does that
well
mean he gave up like some younger years?
That's a distinct possibility.
Okay, but is
It
there
just depends on...
is there a
on
long
what's the
term
deal.
effect?
Probably not. This is just a... I mean, ask your wizard. This is a pretty common magic item. You find them everywhere in the Feywild.
Honestly, the more I learn about the Fae, the more it's less of don't fuck with the Fae and more like the Fae is just real passive aggressive.
They're excessively passive aggressive. Not only that,
Look,
they
you still
have
don't want
a
to
bunch
fuck with the Fae. I'm just saying.
weird tricks up their sleeves. But I mean, let's be real, guys. I think the bag so far has been good, and I'm pretty confident if had any adverse effects, we'd probably be dealing with him, or he'd have a lot more enemies than he does.
Also,
I mean, yeah, I've been eating out of the bag for years.
also true. Can you tell me
You have one?
Kazam, can you tell me the diagnosis on our skeleton? He was a fleshy meat bag at one point.
I'll tell you the diagnosis. He lost all of his flesh, and he
did,
did die.
but it was because of a Fey pact. Now, if
And
you
he, flies over to hover in front of Wingdings, and he's like, wow.
Ew.
I can't believe it's taken me this long to
Ew.
put these together, but
The beard's not real.
I mean, obviously the beard's fake, but... Wow. I mean,
Maybe not.
he's definitely a skeleton.
no, but tell
That
me,
had to be a serious deal. I don't know what or who. Maybe Flesh Crafter. She's pretty good. She could do something like this.
but it means
It
that
sounds
he
like
lost the
someone
deal,
called
right?
Flesh Crafter.
He lost the deal, right? Like he's on the bad end of it.
I mean,
How do you know?
kind of.
I'm just taking a guess.
It seems like he doesn't have any flesh, or maybe his flesh just isn't here. He still has it. It's just somewhere else.
You know,
Yeah, Dread tried to eat it.
I do pat my stomach.
I do have a bit of an odd top. I mean, since we're on this topic, no offense, Weenies, but I got a question. Do you have a personal quest of your own to get your flesh back?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean,
Be honest.
Your hesitation says everything I need to know.
No, let him explain. I want to know. I don't understand.
you don't need to know shit. But I don't know. I mean, so far I haven't dropped dead yet, and no one's complained about me being a skeleton. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick up chicks like this. I'm just saying.
Were you good
Yeah,
at it?
talk about no bones.
Were you good at it before?
checks character sheet. No.
Of that charisma, though.
I'll be
That
honest.
-1 charisma.
I'll be honest. I thought that you were always gay about getting boned and stuff, and all that talk.
I didn't.
That's nice.
I just pop my arm off and whack Dread with it.
I do a neo
There
dodge.
you go. You've been boned in the face.
I do a neo dodge, and then my back snaps, and I'm stuck like that.
It's like
The limbo.
you laid on a chair there, Dread.
And I'm like,
You laid on a chair. Are you okay?
oh my god. I used to be able to do this really good like 200 years ago. And now I'm like on the floor.
Oh, there
Alright,
he goes.
I snapped
You know-
Kazam from existence though. If I'm he can't see me being miserable.
Just pop my arm back in.
You know, guys, we're getting dangerously close to game time.
Oh, speaking of game time, do we know what the other companies, what they're capable of?
The other companies.
Like, what are they?
The
What are they
other
bringing to the table?
mercenaries, yeah.
I'd imagine they have guns. I'd imagine they have ships. I imagine they have crew. What more do we really need to know?
Would like to run another simulation sometime because the last one that we ran, yes, we won, but it didn't have the same guns as before. That makes me nervous.
I kind of feel like you're always nervous, not to like cut in, but like
Listen, this is a very stressful group.
it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Am I
feel-
really stressed?
I feel
Pretty
like
chill.
we keep putting ourselves in these situations where if somebody is after us, or we're running from somebody, or we pissed somebody off, and it's just very stressful.
But now we're trying
make
to
sure
now we're
everything's
literally
alive.
trying to plan a sabotage attack against a prince.
I'll be honest, I don't remember any of that.
I mean, what can we say? It was a roller coaster of events. One thing led to another. An eventual cascade of unfortunate circumstances led us to where we are now. And what are we going to do? Run? I don't think that's an option anymore. I think we just
No,
need...
surely not. We
gonna
definitely
tell
shouldn't run, but I also want to make sure that like we're as prepared as possible.
I'm gonna tap on the table. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Oh man,
That's your shirt. That's a flamingo. It's not a buck.
very cute.
Do you like it?
Thank you. It's pretty
He's not so
silly.
excited with his flamenco shirt.
Elizabeth just bought this for me apparently.
I'm sorry.
Aw,
I thought it was cute.
That's pretty good.
It's got coconuts,
yes.
coconuts, palm
And I know where
trees.
to get the flamingo socks.
And a bok.
It's not a bok. A flamingo does not make a bok.
Zane, show them your tooth.
Oh god, you have to get right up.
Do it with your finger. Here,
Oh.
this one.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, that sucker's coming out.
Yeah, I know.
Hey.
Alright.
All right, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Come on.
I may wear that tomorrow if it's nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah. I'll mow the lawn in it.
They're not falling up the stairs. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll mow the lawn in that shirt.
Nice.
But anyways, back to it. Now we're after trying to sabotage a prince from trying to annihilate like an entire continent.
Yeah.
No, just dominance of his region. Hopefully we're trading one tyrannic ruler for a less tyrannic ruler.
Well, I'm gonna be king,
trying to-
remember? And I start slurping on my smoothie.
You know, illusions of grandeur can lead to a larger problem, Dread.
Mm.
Are you saying I should not be king or prince?
I think
Yes.
he's saying anticipate realistic expectations.
I do. I've lived this long and I've never been a king.
So what makes you think it's gonna happen again, or ever?
Because the opportunity has struck. I have a date with a queen.
You know what? I'll give you a shot. There is a non-zero chance that
Shoot
this
your
goes.
shot.
I fucking shake Oliver Green's hand so hard for having respect. And like I don't care
Like,
if
I
that,
won't let you down, Dan.
that non-zero
I
chance
know.
is like 0.0001 in his head. I'm just like, yeah, that's 99% in my head.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
When he said non-zero, Dread thinks it's the other way. He's just like, thank
Yep.
you, Oliver Green. You will be my right-hand attendant.
I just lean in and is like, do me a favor. Call me Colin Mustard, but I'm just get up. No offense, it's just the crew doesn't know.
All right. Colin Mustard.
Thank you, my friend.
Do you want a sip? It's actually pretty good. No, I offer him
No,
my
thank you.
lamb shake.
Not at all. And I just look at it and I'm just like,
I think
I'm
This
glad you
is
enjoyed it.
essentially a cup of blood and viscera.
I've also dropped an eyeball in it instead of like an olive.
Sadly, I envisioned there being an eyeball looking back at me, and when you did it, like the entire time, I just didn't comment on it because you mentioned nothing of eyeball. But like, in my head, I just saw it, and I'm just like, I don't know why. And then you mentioned it, I was like,
Eyeball confirmed.
You look at it, it just kind of like you thought that was a chunk of meat, and it just rolls around and it's an eyeball.
It
Old
just
family
looked at
recipe.
you.
And I'm just like, oh damn, I didn't get what I was looking for.
what were you looking for?
You know, like one of those little plastic swords.
For cocktails.
Yeah, that's kind of this is a morning. You guys call it somewhat like a mimosa or something, some treat in the morning, right?
So this would be your equivalent of a Bloody Mary.
Who's Mary?
Just can't say her name 3 times.
I
Just
didn't.
enjoy your drink, Fred, or your smoothie, or your soup.
I like to call it
Pardon?
a big.
Mr. Mark.
I've got a new name for it. A big gulp.
You should patent that.
Yeah, trademark that early.
When I become king.
I'll write it down for you. I'll be your lawyer. No,
Aw.
I can't. I can't really be a lawyer. I'm not very good at that.
That's
There's
right,
a
because
sound
you are a
from
colonel.
above ship.
As your friend, I'll tell you that. And yes, I admit we're friends as much as one can
Wow.
Why?
That's a big.
There's a sound
that's a big
from
deal to
above
you, isn't it?
deck. Like somebody tapping on the side of the hull, clang, clang, clang.
be. Uh-oh.
With the try.
Rude.
On the side of the hull.
Like you know how the rim of the hull would come above the deck a little bit, and you could reach down and smack the side like that.
Aren't we out
Wow.
in space though?
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's got a barrier.
I approach the hull exit and see who the hell's tapping. Rap tapping on my hull.
Crow and
go-
Torvin are up here, and between the two of them, they have the bones of 3 entire chickens. And
Oh,
she
I'm sorry,
waves to
I
you,
couldn't
and she's
hear.
like, Crow and Torvin are on the deck of the ship,
Oh, Crow and Torvin. Okay.
and between the two of them, they have the bones of like 3 entire chickens.
The bones?
It's like on a just the bones and the carcass, the meat is all.
Ah.
And she kind of waves at you and points off in the distance, is like, looks like some of our friends have arrived. I think that's the Tashimura fleet. As you guys can see, that the TMS Vanguard, Endeavor, Horizon, Pioneer, Aegis, and Odyssey have arrived.
Oh boy, here we go.
Well, look at that.
Which one is that?
That's the 6 to the far right.
Okay, so these guys. Well, it's getting started. This is already going in a direction that looks tricky. A lot of ships mean a lot of fighting, and a lot of fighting means a lot of chances for some stray shots to go in places where they don't belong.
What? I mean, you don't think there's any chance that they might give us a few stray shots, do you?
These ships, hopefully not. I don't see that happening. But who knows about our enemy? We don't know what their firing pattern is going to be. Hell, hopefully they don't know that we are the quote-unquote vanguard ship. That would suck.
Immensely, yeah.
No, if they wouldn't know that, then we'll have a leak somewhere.
Well, I mean, we made the announcement to literally every flipping crew captain that's on that, so everyone knows to listen to me. If we had a leak be in one of them, and the number out there is unfortunate. We can get to the bottom of it. I'm just saying it would take fucking time. Time we may not have when it matters.
Well, I don't think you have to worry too much about stray shots. Typically, when it comes to ship-to-ship combat, they're going to break down their formation. You don't want to have all of your ships sitting in a V fighting. It eliminates some of your lines of fire.
What about in the cluster all together? Really close, like side by side, so like one blast could blow them all to hell.
That's the exact problem. So typically, they'll split off into V formations, or perhaps triangular battle groups, or they might just fan out completely.
Well, a proper formation wouldn't hurt. I mean, it makes sense, avoiding each other's line of fire. When you say V, like arrow tip, or are we talking like...
Arrow tip.
Like a vendetta.
Yes, correct.
Man, I love that to play.
There's also the wedge formation. You could use that to protect a specific ship. Although that does limit that ship's ability to fire back, more or less to only the rear and above and below. Otherwise, you risk hitting your own allies. But can be useful.
Well, looking at it, I was like, I don't know about you guys, but it only makes sense that perhaps if we're going in a V formation, we should be the lead ship.
Sure, let's die first.
I'm just speculating as to what the enemy will do.
Well,
Agreed.
Standard ship-to-ship contact tactics.
all that's only going to last moments. Once the shells start flying and the ships start taking damage, a lot of those
We'll need to
formations
fan
will-
out.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
fine with ship-to-ship fight. I'm worried about the dragon fight.
Is there any way to organize the ships in such a way that, like, the faster ships are toward the front that would be used for, like, knocking out their thrusters or for secretly boarding, and then they can be supported by heavier gunner ships directly behind them? Or would that be better vice versa, come out hard and heavy and then let the small ships sneak in through?
It depends on what your goal is.
Well,
If your goal is to simply
She
take
points to the
ships,
colonel.
so
if
this
your
is
goal
going to
is
be
to
the goal.
simply take ships, it's best to use your beefier ships to protect your light ones in a wedge formation to get the light ships close enough that they can drop off allies via aerial insertion, or if you're strong enough like the Titans, by dimension dooring aboard the enemy ship.
I almost wonder if it would be better for us to take a couple of ships early on, so that way we can use their guns against them.
This is my plan.
Okay. I defer to you.
We're going to
listen to the captain.
We're going to spearhead.
Colonel.
We're going to take this shit on. Head on. And
Okay.
shit be damned, we're going to make it on to their vanguard ship, one fucker to another. And then once we board their ship, Crow, that's where you come in. Once we board their ship, we're going to take them on. We're going to put the prince down on his knees, and we're going to try and end this as quickly as possible, because the less this war goes on, the less time, the better. And I'm pretty confident that they're not going to fight without their prince. And if it comes time, and if he is executed, not by our hand, and I look at Seraphina, is she even amongst us?
Yeah.
It's like, not by our hand. If anyone puts it down, it's up to you, and you're going to be the one to do it. But if it comes time, then hopefully we can end this quick.
But doesn't Crow just want to battle the dragon?
Well, after she puts us aboard the ship, she can take care of her own affairs. Isn't that right?
That's fair to me.
Oh, better.
And
Okay.
Seraphina chimes in and says, well, I don't know how quickly we'd be able to send the message that my brother's been captured, but if we can capture him, I would prefer to give my brother a proper trial and royal execution.
Our rare...
No, you do not have your rare items yet.
Don't worry, we'll royally kill him there.
No, we won't kill him, but we will definitely put his ass down to where he's no longer a threat. And I look at you, Seraphina, and I'm like, I can't guarantee.
Conjure an illusion if we were on top of the ship, over top of us, if we could capture my brother, of us dragging him to the top of one of these ships. And
that's true.
Make it more apparent that we've won.
Like a
But there are certainly
Even if
some
we-
number of holdouts.
Even if we
We'll
had
make
an
it apparent that we
illusion
won.
of killing him, like, that
We'll
could
make it
be
apparent.
helpful.
Once we start manning the guns of the flagship against its own crew, against its own guns, they'll know. We'll start putting out messages. Surrender or continue to fight and get put down. Your rebellion is being quelled.
Well, since we're speaking strategy, what ship did you want to target first? Out of the Night Spiders, we have the Shadow Tempest, the Silken Stripe, and Scarlet Spider. I know those ships are missing.
Well, whichever one, Seraphina, you feel that may have your brother upon it. Once the time comes, you of all people should be able to identify the formations. You are actually siblings, after all. You've grown up. You may be able to tell as to which one's his
Wait.
ship.
Can
Well, I do know that my brother's personal ship, as well as my own, have been taken. But also my father's Night Spider, the Scarlet Spider, was taken. And my brother always did have a thing for it, so there's a good chance he could be aboard that as well.
Is he as pompous to think that he himself is better than his father?
I don't know if my brother thinks he's better than father, but certainly he always envied that ship.
So, I guess here's my question. Is he more of a strategist, or is he more of a strategist than an egomaniac?
I would say he's equal measure an egomaniac and strategist.
Okay.
So, then this is the plan. We got, the way I see it, 2 shots. If we have to make the second shot, it's going to suck, but we'll make it work. We'll be able to teleport across using Pro. I appreciate that. If he's not aboard,
She holds
that
her
one
hands up and
before.
goes, I can teleport as many as 4 times in a day.
Jaw
We have
drops.
more. We have more than simply 2 shots of it.
I'm just like,
Oh, that reminds me. Who was going to take claim to the Voyager staff? She still hasn't
Ellerina.
surrendered that to anybody.
I think Ellerina's the only one that can wield it.
Can I ask Lady Crow if she can scry or legend lore where the prince is gonna be at?
That's not
She
how
could-
that works.
She could try to scry on him. But she definitely couldn't legend lore him.
I'll ask her that if she could try to scry on the prince instead of us trying to guess where he's gonna be at.
Okay, I had to look at an item real quick. Pro shrugs her shoulders and says, I've never met the prince, so even as powerful as I am, there's very few chances that it would actually work.
What about
I could try.
Serafina? No, don't worry about you, Crow. I appreciate the effort, but and I'm just like, let's discuss more detail about that teleportation in a moment. And Ellerina, if you want to ask Serafina, she might be a little bit more familiar with them.
Want me to ask if she can legend lore scry her brother?
Just to see if he could scry. She could scry.
Hey, can you scry your own brother? Do you know that spell? Serafina?
I have to look at her spell list.
What's the navigator stuff
She shakes
again?
her head and says, no, unfortunately, I'm incapable of scrying. I know the spell exists, or my brother can do it, but I myself don't know it.
So is there a chance that your brother might know where you're at since he can scry?
Very doubtful. One of the things I took when I left home, I always kept one near me, was an amulet of proof against detection. And she pulls up her sleeve to reveal like a little bracelet around her wrist that has like the emblem of an eye that's been blinded.
Ooh, it's cool. Okay.
Oh.
So
Blind
scrying me shouldn't work.
Bro, how much of a cost would incur for every teleport beyond the one you owe us?
Well, so normally a caster would charge someone around 2,000 for a teleport.
I vomit.
Considering
Wow, yeah.
Sorry, that must have been
the circumstances, I could belay the cost until after everything's settled, of course, and give you a hefty discount. After all, any of the ships my Marines teleport aboard are going to be very mysteriously unarmed.
I don't like uncertainty. All right.
Each teleport after that first one, let's just call it a flat 100.
Well, Crow Grimnar, we have a deal.
And like
We'll
I
make
said,
this.
you can always belay the cost until after everything's concluded. There's no use trying to beat a corpse for coin.
Wait, you've never done that even just for fun?
No.
Okay.
What about me?
Noted. We'll give all of the money to Dread and to Wingdings, and you won't worry about getting it.
Well, Red's still alive. Ish.
What?
I haven't heard his heart beat. I was going to say but once, but then I'm thinking, I don't know if that was his heart or if that was just the potato that fell off the ground, onto the ground.
I think I had indigestion that day.
Either way, we can belay those costs until after everything's said and done.
Okay. Well, I like how this is shaping up. How many times have you done this before in your past, Crow?
A lot. A lot. It's standard Titan practice in ship-to-ship combat these days to teleport across, take out guns on the top of the ship, and then bring on heavy hitters afterwards.
Oh, man.
And if you can't salvage the spell-jamming helm, say they've put an explosive on it to kill anyone who gets up off of it and destroy the helm, well, you just crash the ship into the ground anyway. Salvage what remains.
What if you just light off the artillery rounds with an explosive barrel and allow the ship to implode upon itself?
Well, you could always turn it into a fire ship and steer it into another ship.
Where are some common areas that people would teleport onto a ship?
Generally, the best place to do it is the assault deck, the top deck where your guns are, and to drop right on top of the people who have those guns. You can't exactly turn your shipboard weapons to face at your own ship. That would be very bad. So the closer you are to the weapon, the safer you are.
What would you guys think about us setting a few traps around our guns in those areas so that way we can avoid other people teleporting to mark us?
As much as I'd like to, I don't have the money to do what I want in that instance.
Well, Torfin said he'd watch
Ratchet, didn't you have... Yeah, didn't Ratchet say that he could lay down traps? That he knew how to lay down traps?
We
He
did
can
set
make
no glyph.
illusions.
we
He
did
didn't
set
know
up a
glyph
giant
Wolverine.
ass trap.
We can actually set glyphs from what I hear to target certain people.
Or someone who speaks a certain phrase, or someone who doesn't speak a certain phrase once they come within distance of the glyph for the first time.
I do like that.
Also standard practice of the Titans.
So the
I
story
do have Glyph of Warding, so I could at least get some of those set up.
I just look at you, I'm like,
You have the
you know
diamond?
how to create a glyph?
Yeah.
It's something that can do everything that we just said that can do.
You can just do that.
Yes, I'm double checking.
Still need money, but yeah,
How much money?
a couple hundred in diamonds specifically.
Fuck.
That's so
Fuck.
expensive. And that isn't a
Smiles
cost
at
people
you. Crow smiles at you in a way that could boil water.
Oh, I don't like that.
And she says, well, I could always front the cost for you, for a fee.
Nah.
I do appreciate that, Crow. Ever the business person. But no, we can deal with a lot on our own if we can. You are, let's be honest, exceptionally powerful in certain fields that we can't utilize at the moment. And once you help us help you, it'll make a really good business relationship.
Well, once Torvin's done with his nap, he said he'd look after your guys' ship.
He went down quick.
Oh, he can literally sleep through an earthquake. He has literally slept through an earthquake.
Neat.
Okay.
At any rate, he said he'd watch the top deck of the ship for you. Make sure nobody who isn't supposed to be here is here.
He would do that for us.
He'd do that for me.
Okay, you got me there.
4 hours, that's an amazing guy.
But the fact that he's gonna do it at all, I appreciate that. As one captain.
Well,
to
it gets
another.
him out of the surgical bays, and besides, sometimes it's nice stomping down filthy Xenos. No offense. She looks at Serafina. No offense. Serafina just looks unamused.
What a stone cold.
How close do we got to get to teleport aboard, bro?
Well, for me to teleport all of us, I just need to be able to see the ship, so about 3 miles. Theoretically, if they're not using some method to conceal themselves, I could even teleport us aboard those ships before they even arrive here in the local orbit of the planet. That being said, they'll be within a mile before I can see them. Spelljammers just move that fast.
Oh. Okay.
Even with like a telescope or something, like you can't see them
I'm
from
just-
just less than a mile.
New fear
Well,
unlocked.
it's simply because Spelljammer ships outside of combat range just move that fast. By the time they'll be within my visual range, about 5 to 6 miles, close enough for me to teleport aboard. By the time I have the ability to react to them, they'll be within a mile and slow down. That would give us 10 minutes heads up. Maybe less.
So, the real question then comes down to when we pull the trigger. Whenever that's going to be. Do we wait till the fighting starts, or do we try and head it on and make sure there's no casualties?
Serafina looks at you, and with a very grim look says, hate to beat a dead horse, but as I've said, I could attempt to challenge my brother. He is prideful to a fault.
I think that would be a great distraction.
I just look at you, I look at her, and say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say anything if you continue. Amalia.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to stare and say, we're going to teleport aboard. You're coming with us.
But of course, but...
You can make that choice if you want. If he's willing to fight you solo, do you think you take
it
him?
risks that my brother might try to track us with Waypoint. But I could go below deck and use your communication orb to send to my brother and challenge him directly. One-to-one
ship-on-ship combat?
No, direct combat. Our party versus his. Our war party versus his. And attempt to parlay aboard his ship. This would lead him to break formation, if he were to accept, but it does also carry the added downside that we won't be able to get the drop on our enemy. They'll know we're here, waiting for them. And it also carries the downside that, while my brother might not be able to scry on me, as Crow did to our ship, he could waypoint our ship.
So if he escapes for whatever reason, we're fucked.
It carries risks, but it also carries the benefit that we might be able to stop this combat before it even begins. Though that does somewhat screw our allies, it might behoove us to wait until they're already here. As you guys are talking, you see another set of ships. All of these are Shrike model ships, as... Where is it? The Gold Grinder, the Gem Raiser, the Ore Breaker, the Treasure Seeker, the Pickaxe, the Silver Hewer, Stone Cleaver, and Rich Vein all arrive. The Brick Boots are here. And they're floating around.
Is there any spells, like... what I would want is like an open comm, kind of like I want whenever them to arrive for Serafina to be able to challenge him. It's like this army will stop you if you decline or something of the sort. At the time. But I want my entire force to hear this challenge, the willingness that she's willing to put her life at risk in order to prevent all of this.
And if he denies it and says that his force can take us on without challenging her one-on-one, we can call him a chick shit.
Exactly.
And his mom will know he's gay.
His mom will know he's gay.
Well,
The ultimate threat.
I do know the spell as an illusionist myself. I do know the spell programmed illusion. I could conjure quite a large image, almost as big as our ship, above us, animated as myself, or even send it all the way over to my brother's ship. I also have the ability to cast Mislead. As soon as we identify whatever ship my brother is on, I could send it over there.
That's some very nifty spells.
And then, finally, I also have access to Mirage Arcane.
You got a lot of illusion spells prepped there, girlfriend.
I am an illusionist by trade. I was never trained in the arts of combat magic. I was trained in the arts of artistic magic.
So
Can we just
I
write
could make
down-
I can make an image for a major image. It makes sound.
Yes.
How far does that sound travel? Like if
I
I was
would-
to do that on the deck of my ship.
I would say you could make it as loud as a megaphone.
Because what I would like to do is just like cast major image and just play like the audio for the major image. Like it doesn't like just kind of like maybe like the bulkhead's mouth like moving
Yeah.
essentially, and it just is making it to where the entire like everyone can hear it. Like all the ships that are under our command.
I'd
'Cause it says it
say
can make-
you could
carry out
probably
party.
get one that extends out to about, like, if you basically turned up the maximum volume, it wouldn't be damaging to somebody's hearing, like long-term damage or dealing thunder damage, but it'd be deafeningly loud. If you turned the volume all the way up on a major image, you could use a major image like a megaphone and have it carry all the way up to half a mile away. It might be very faint at that point, but very far.
Okay.
Hundreds and thousands of feet easily.
Not to be that guy, but isn't there no sound in space?
You guys are not in space. You are on a habitable ring that surrounds the planet. So like there's the planet itself,
Yeah, we're still in orbit.
Vione, and then around the planet there's a ring of debris that just hangs there.
The ring of fire.
And
But does sound travel?
Yes, the sound could travel.
Okay.
You just write in what scroll? What is that spell?
All right. So then
Message in the air.
when
Skywrite? She could
Skywrite.
skywrite as well.
when she messages him to do the challenge, I just plan on recording that conversation like mentally or so and playing it in there, like the voices as a major image as it's going, if I can. That way they all know, like everyone will know.
Serafina nods and says, I could very well challenge him, issue a challenge. Should we wait until they are closer?
Now, I only bring up this option if that's something that you feel comfortable doing. That I couldn't put it on you. I do know that
I'm
will
very
be there
afraid
to
my
issue
brother
final
would
blow.
become ever the pragmatist and simply start shooting my ship down. I know he needs me alive, but I worry what he might do to the rest of you. But at the same time, I also know that the alternative is open combat, which is not good for anyone.
Well, and not to be that guy, but you're essentially challenging a large fighter with a liberal arts degree. So
I am well aware that my brother is far superior to me in every magical sense. Yes.
no, I'm just saying that might be something that could be in our favor. That if you're issuing him a direct challenge saying my party versus your party, then he would know, well, at least you aren't a large fighting asset. So anybody that you recruit, who's to say how strong they will? So that could be in our favor of him underestimating us.
Am I the only one that's like bringing up the word party as a red flag in my head? Never mind.
How so?
I mean, it's just saying like her versus him, but I mean now when you start saying party, that like acts like I might get involved in that.
You are involved.
By any effort, you are involved. You're on a ship
What are
with
the
me
chances
planning
we
to
could
fight my
have-
brother.
See, Oliver.
What are the
It's
we
fine.
could have like pros stand in for you, Captain Colonel, while you go do like sneaky something else.
I appreciate your concern, but I guess I gotta do it. I gotta be there.
We got it. Like, just as much as this is her choice, this is also your choice.
If we're all going, then I'm going to be there. It would be a coward's move to stay back.
Aw, you've grown so much.
And I put my hand on Oliver Green's shoulder and I go, "You have my fang."
I appreciate it.
Bro, give him back his fang, damn!
No, they're mine now. I'm gonna wear them like a necklace.
They're gonna call me fangless. I'm gonna be a mercy kill back where I'm from. Oh.
They didn't mercy kill you before. What would they do it now?
Ooh.
If they found out that I was fangless.
Damn. You just set him on fire, basically. You are savage, little one.
Okay.
He's not allergic to silver.
I'm not allergic to silver. I'm not allergic to garlic, but fire. Oh my god, fire.
You guys watch it as six
Wow,
light
we have
ships,
that in common.
Good.
6 light ships, and 1 giant squid ship arrive here as the Welsh arrive.
Is
And
that?
It's
That-
the Welsh.
That's a kinky machine if I've ever seen one.
It's a decent machine.
Caleb, what were you saying?
They arrive in a kind of hexagonal formation, like each of the light ships are flanking around the Dryad's Fang.
Okay. This is getting real. Look at all these. I can only imagine what the enemy has. Do you think, and I look at Crow, your depiction of their ships, is that what we're getting into?
It seems accurate, other than the lowball estimation of their artillery and speed. Yeah, it seems accurate.
Well, we'll just spread out. And then once we board their ship, well, I doubt they'll fire upon their own. It'll just be us versus whatever woes might be upon that. I'm sure we can handle it. We've handled worse, right? I mean, no.
I have.
We haven't.
I have.
Yeah,
Of course,
we
but
haven't
you're not
yet.
going to be there. I mean, I'm not going to call you anything that's derogatory because this isn't a dick move. This is what we signed on, and trust me, I get contracts, Pro. But I totally feel that once we board that ship, you're going to say your obligation has been fulfilled and deuce and fight that dragon. Probably one-on-one. And You might come out.
I
with a
feel
new-
like we've known each other for years.
It makes sense. It makes sense. You might come out with like one slight scar out of that, which would be cool.
If I'm done with that dragon before you're done with the prince, I'd be coming down to take my bite out of him or any other ships that are still fighting. But this does, if you were going to challenge the prince, this does present a unique option.
Do tell.
What if, as part of challenging the prince, you convince them to let you get closer? Bring the two ships into a gun line near each other. Just close enough for, say, dimension doors.
Okay.
Sneak on.
Who are we going to dimension?
Oh,
doors
not
on?
us. I'm specifically talking about my Marines and Lucius's Marines. They could rather silently board an enemy ship. From what I understand, the Welsh, they're pretty good at small arms fighting too. You could go visit with them and inform them of your plans. The closer you get, the easier it is to take the ships. Prince doesn't have ships to back him up.
Just follow us in formation. Once we get close enough, you'll be close enough. Have them. Anyways, have their ships follow us in formation.
Can your ship turn invisible?
Mine can, yes. Mine is invisible. Still on patrol. Looking around to see if they spot them early.
How much would that cost? A ship like this, if I was just, say, curious.
Well, for a standard ship's stealth system, you're looking at about 20,000 gold pieces.
Only?
Right, okay, yeah.
For one like the Black Swans, 5 times that amount.
Nothing.
Okay, I that's okay. That one might be manageable. That sounds reasonable. What kind of power system we looking at? Like, is something that we currently have?
That's why the two are so differently priced. A standard stealth system, it runs on the spell energy of the pilot piloting the ship. The Black Swan doesn't need that. The Black Swan just has a field of stealth around it.
Look,
Wow.
Okay.
It was very expensive to create.
Spared no expense, huh?
That thing's worth the GDP of a small nation.
Yes, it is. You should see the Arcadia. The Arcadia is a nation unto itself.
there's your first
Okay.
ship, right?
I don't even know what to say. Yes, follow us. This is going to be helpful. Have them follow us, and your crew can board the crews of the other ships if things go awry.
Well, the plan was to have them stay cloaked and get nice and close before things pop off, and then drop off some invisible marines on the nearest star mall. At least that's what I told them to do yesterday.
That's simple. That works. That's fine. You are actually entitled to one of those anyway. These are good ideas. We're gonna have to prepare for this prince's fight. Surprisingly, we know he's rather hardy. In fact, he's substantially hardy.
Hardly
Are you guys
hard.
Oh, that fake card, is there a piece of information you'd like to trade it for?
Not at this time. I will hold it on to the last moment until when I need it absolutely vital. When you are unwilling to actually provide that information, that's why I spend the card.
That's fair, that's fair. Finally, the last 4 ships show up, as the Five Fingers show up with their own squid ship, although this one's significantly smaller than the Dryag's Fang. The Cutthroat Mirage, the Cyric Vanguard, the Ashen Tide, and the Emberglide arrive. It seems you guys have a lot of very light ships. Other than you, Regan, and the Titans... Oh, you, Regan, the Titans, and the Tashimura. Everybody else is in light ships.
Okay.
Okay.
Feels good to be in the ship we're in.
Well, I think our tactics for them is gonna be hit and run.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that, Arena.
Well, before we make any plans,
I'd rather make plans.
perhaps we should go visit with our allies.
Agreed.
Okay.
After that, I might make us...
I have a question for everybody, though.
I might make us a Mirage Arcane to hide the ships in an illusion of tall trees, so that they can't visually spot us until we want them to.
Perfect.
I guess
That is actually substantially awesome.
it's very awesome.
It is the mightiest spell I'm capable.
I just wondered to everybody if this is our last, like, 24 hours of existence. Is there anything anybody wished they could have done or done differently?
Met you.
The what?
Nothing.
Got him.
Not really. We're all here by our own design.
There's a lot
I
of
wish.
things I wish changed. And I just look at Wingdings continue. Sorry.
Never mind. I lost what I was gonna say.
Oh no!
No,
you
no.
lost the train.
Damn it!
Thanks, Captain.
Wingdings! The one time I finally was going to learn something about you. Anything other than you being a skeleton that has the ability to eat food.
To maybe eat food. Vingdings, really? Anything?
What do you wish?
Well, nothing now. Thanks, guys.
What, guys?
I wish I could have remembered what I was going to wish for.
I'll be honest. In my
You know what?
500 years,
I mean, do you really want to try to remember? Because I could probe in your head for a bit.
Maybe don't probe in my head. Probe your own head.
Nah.
I really wish
Give yourself head.
I could have gone. I've heard of this thing. I've never seen it. Called jet skiing.
What is it? What is that?
I don't know. It's when you...
Why do you want it then?
Because the people who did it sound like they had a blast. It was like some kind of Land Rover, but you take it on the water.
Cool. I don't like water.
Ellerina, this instantly reminds you of skimmer surfing.
You guys ever done skimmer surfing before?
I don't know. Some hipsters might have called it that.
Ah, okay, so you guys can relate.
No, I want to do
Hell
it.
No. Hell no, you watch your mouth.
That's the thing I wanted to do. Have you done it before?
Yes.
Lucky. That is so lucky.
I don't know what it is. I'm guessing it's something with surfing in space or something.
No, you take like a landmaster craft and you build it to ride water.
No, I'm talking to Caleb. Trying to see what
it's so skimmers can fly over water. They're a hover vehicle, so they can just move right over water as if it was land, just fine. So you just tow somebody behind a skimmer on a surfboard.
Guess what? We could do it one day after this war.
But okay, like I don't want to make promises in case any of us die.
I promise you, you will die. Don't worry.
Then why make the
He's already
promise?
Yeah, and you're already dead. Why you fear?
What if?
So that-
What if? Oh my God! What if the prince actually gives me like proper life that will come to an end?
I'm already walking away to meet the other captains.
I internalize the actual dread
Okay.
of being
send us a
like
call over there and
being
we'll
like a
dying.
humanoid and having like
I
Oh,
envision
your-
as you're having this existential cred, everyone else is already just like leaving the room slowly but surely. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
fighting demons internally. Like your brain's just mixing. You're like, no, what? No.
everyone's also like turning the lights off on me. Like
Yeah.
Like we're gonna die. We're gonna die.
Like, all right, Dred, but we'll meet you outside. We're gonna go talk to the rest of the captains.
We got
No.
shit to do, Dred. Bye.
no. The eternal darkness. No, it's coming in. It's already happening. As the lights turn off.
So as you guys move your spelljammers into position, Ron, if you'd like to set up the formation in the way you want to have it, the only ship you guys won't have immediate access to is this one. That's just going to pop up on the map if combat starts. But as you guys float your ship up into formation, the other captain's ships begin to get closer together. The Pioneer, the Dryad's Fang, the Mirage Cutthroat, and the Gem Razor
Ron,
all
which one is
come
ours?
gliding into a position that you guys can throw out planks and cross between the four ships.
Ron, which one is ours?
This guy right here.
That one?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
As the other ships pull alongside you guys, and you guys get roughly even, you can see Captain Tashimura, or Captain Hoshizaki of the Tashimura. He's standing at attention behind a podium that seems to have a lot of instrumentation, and he waves over to you to board his ship. And you can see he's just saying to the people on the other two ships, the Admiral comes walking over. This time he looks different again. He looks like a dwarf with a tie-dyed beard.
Ron, are you trying to make like a V formation here?
Yeah, I am.
Try to make it like you have a lot of ships. Make it to like
Yeah,
the end of the
I'm realizing.
go to the end of the board. Don't try to like nosedive it though. Try to do like the reverse V.
What do you mean, like this?
Like that way. Like
Yeah, I was thinking. I see what you're saying.
but make it
But
like
that's why I
almost
asked
the whole
Arrowhead.
you have so many ships, make it almost the whole board.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like start like as if it would funnel to the middle. So like start on very wide ends.
Here, we'll just do this as of now.
Yeah, just for now. And then like I would say like put like big bombardment ones like at the end and in the middle and at the very back. So then like we can keep heavy bombardment ones all throughout the fight as if they either come in or we move towards them, cuz like if they funnel into the middle and we get them with the V, we can start shooting more inside, and our back quarter ones can hit hard and at anything that flies into the center as well. You don't want to expel all your big hitters at front either. You want it all spread out. You want some right at the front, in the middle, and at the back. Tell me if I'm crazy.
You're not crazy at all.
I mean, in general you are, but not about this.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the four crews and captains link up your guys' ships, and you guys have a meeting with Captain Hoshizaki, the Admiral, and Craig create brick boot. So
Wow.
as the other four main heads come to bear here, Hoshizaki bows to you and says, "Honorable Captain Colin."
I reciprocate. Pleasure meeting you again. Hopefully one day we'll meet under much better circumstances.
We have received your message. We are ready to fight.
This is going to be a battle. You realize that?
We are well aware, prepared for a fight. Each of the Tashimura ships have extra boarding crew, equipped with flight gear.
That should be helpful. We do hopefully plan on boarding some ships. Our whole goal itself is to, well, hopefully we can challenge the prince himself. And if we can potentially spearhead taking down the Vanguard ship on our own. Most likely it's not going to fall exactly as planned, and these things divulge and someone's going to fire shots. Inevitably, everyone's going to be gunfighting. If you guys can board some ships and disable some crews, that might save some lives in the long run. Can you afford such an endeavor?
Hoshizaki nods vigorously and says, "Many boarding crews. We are ready for boarding fights." And the Admiral and the Welshman, they both nod as well. The Welshman says something to one of his aides, and the aide nods and says, the Welshman says that our small arms fighters are ready to teleport aboard themselves, and the Welshman himself is going to teleport off to an enemy ship. He seems to think he can fight a smaller ship all on his own.
Well,
Brave man.
hopefully he's correct, and I'm banking on things going south regardless of our encounter with the prince upon the Vanguard. We're going to teleport upon his ship somehow. We're going to get on there and try and spearhead it, capture him, and have him tried for his crimes against, well, the rest of the nations. These unnecessary intrusions upon everyone's land have to go, well, cannot go unanswered.
The Admiral kind of rubs his tie-dye beard here and says, "Well, each of my crews has brought some saboteurs. They're not quite well equipped as the rest of you, but they're going to try and sneak aboard these ships before combat even begins, as soon as they come in range."
That can be helpful.
And the Brick Boots seem kind of on the back foot here. They're like, "Well, our ships are armed to the teeth with more than enough crew to man each guns, plus replacements. But we're not practiced in boarding. We tend to use our guns to do the talking."
The Welsh saying this?
No, that's the Brick Boots.
The Brick Boots. And which ships are the Brick Boots?
All 8 of these strike ships.
Okay.
My people.
They're
So-
light ships.
How quickly do you feel that your squad could take down an enemy ship?
Well, one-on-one, it might be a tough fight, but with the 8 of us, 4 groups focusing fire fairly quickly. Each of these 8 ships has 3 magic cannons ready to go.
That sounds good. We might be able to utilize that. Stay in formation until... Well, I don't want you guys getting rushed ahead and being picked off. No offense, but it looks your ships are a little less armored, and I don't want any of you guys having some unnecessary casualties.
The Welshman speaks up in broken common. He says, "What if they run?"
If the enemy runs,
And he looks confused for a moment, and he talks to his aide, and he says, the aide says, he means, what if they break formation and move for a civilian target? The Welsh would like to pursue.
we have to be careful not to be baited into unnecessary breaks in our own formation. Yes, them targeting a civilian needs to be handled proper, but it needs to be handled proper. I understand you need to pursue it, and if the time calls for it, absolutely. But we have to be careful. They are going to target civilians. They're going to do that because they know we care. It's unfortunate. It's going to happen. We do have to do our best to try and stop it. But it will cost us more lives to fall for the first sign of aggression towards them. We have to be careful about how we go about it. We'll see what
He
happens.
repeats what you said in Welsh, and the Welshman nods in agreement.
We'll see how that rolls, and by all means, I'll know that your crew volunteers to handle that personally if the time comes. That's good to know. Anyone else have any requests or any concerns of their own? Speak now, because we don't have very much time, and this may be the last time we are all in this group.
I don't know. It's going to be unpredictable, but what we are going to... what a true onslaught war is going to be like.
Is it just Ishimura and Okasawa or whatever his name is?
Hoshizaki.
Hoshizaki, yes.
All we can hope for is that our practice...
Is it just him, or who else is here?
It's Hoshizaki, the admiral, the leader of these five-fingered gangs.
Mm-hmm.
Grye, Brickboot, the leader of the the Brickboot ships.
Mm-hmm.
The Welshman and his aides, the leader of the Welsh, and you guys.
Okay, so does anyone speak up when I say that?
The next people to speak up are the Five Fingers. And the Admiral looks at you and he says, well, most of our ships are light ships. So we'd like to focus on counterattacking light ships.
The Five Fingers likes to counterattack light ships?
Yes. That's where they want to focus their boarding and firing. And he says, but I do have one question.
Yes.
Those Titan friends of yours, where are they? I only see one of their ships.
They have their own objective. And they will be meeting it. It'll be adjacent to ours, and it will definitely help us in the situation.
Very well, very well.
We don't have as much control over them as we have. They're not as friendly to participate.
You said you were going to challenge the prince.
Yes.
Do you have any idea of exactly how?
Well, once the fighting starts, we'll make an announcement. We know the princess is going to attempt to challenge the prince. Hopefully they're champions versus us. And hopefully we win. We have a way aboard, very similar to you, I'd imagine, as far as anyone else was concerned. And we have an exit strategy. So, if we can stop the prince hopefully we can end this before there are too many casualties.
Hopefully.
I feel it's going to be a situation where we all are going to advance. We're going to stay in formation. Hopefully, we can get to a situation where the crew that wish to board are within boarding distance, and those that are firing stay within firing range and don't get caught up in melee themselves. And then, once its fighting has peaked and it's gotten to a point where everyone has targeted their shots, that will make our announcement. Hopefully the prince will have learned from his lesson and realized that this will not be a simple pushover by then, and realizes options are, let's just say, limited. And his overzealous nature or his pompous attitude might think that he can take us on. I say that without a little bit of self-reflection, thinking that we're doing the same to think that we could take them on. But worst case scenario, we have an exit strategy and we might be able to leave them a little gift and cause the Vanguard ship to self-implode. If we can at least cut off the Vanguard ship and destroy it, the rest should be easy pickings. Their formations will be destroyed, their morale will be lost, and their surrender will be imminent.
Well, it sounds like you have a strategy. We'll follow your lead. We each have our own sub-objectives to consider. But it sounds like we're all on board. And Seraphina speaks up here and says, one thing further. Immediately post-undocking, I'm going to begin casting a Mirage Arcane, an illusion of very tall trees here in the area. You'll need to bring your ships down to about 200 feet off the ground, as that's the highest the illusion can take place in. But that being said, it will have more than enough area to cover all of our ships. And then, once the enemy is within sight range, we can move in formation.
I look at everyone. We should wait till they're close. The closer they get to the objective, the better. By then, hopefully they're close enough for people that want to board, can board, as soon as they're aware of our existence. Anything sooner, taking too many shots before we get within range, is unnecessary. I'm sure your guys' gunfire are compatible with theirs, or comparable, I should say. But the more shots in each other, the more damage that can cost, the more lives that can be lost.
It's at this moment, plotting from the other deck, from your guys' ship comes Crow Grimnar, with a suspiciously bloodthirsty look on her face. And she says, well, lucky for you, the swans just made contact. They're a little early. We have about 3 hours before they get here.
Have they actually begun to attack already? Have they revealed our existence?
No. They're not within visual range. They're about 150 miles out, but they're moving slower than they should be. The Swan's fairly confident they didn't see her, but they should be here within the next 3 to 5 hours. Any preparation you have, you should do it now.
If it hasn't been obvious, we have to be ultra careful. Their suspicion may be high already. If they have any contacts amongst this lot that used to be in the area around here, well, they're not reaching back. They have gone dark. That can only mean a few things, and pretty confident the prince will know what will happen. However, his suspicions don't need to be confirmed right away. The longer we have, the better. Once again, we need to wait till they're close. Close enough to where we can board them.
Serafina puffs out her chest and says, "To battle stations, people. Let's get ready." And as she stomps off to your guys' ship, give me an insight check.
Let's see.
Eek. You know what? I will burn my heroic for this particular inspiration. I don't know why. I'm going
18.
I'm not. Okay, I should burn my inspiration because it's a nat 1.
I rolled a 5 the sixth time and rolled a 5 the second time.
You really, really want to burn that inspiration, Alex, because
I rolled a
that
5
one
3
card.
times in a row.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll it. Nat 20.
There you go.
The card I got was the next person you meet takes an irrational dislike to you.
Man, that would be the prince. What the fuck?
Man, that would have been great. You should have kept that one.
I should have kept. I've been like, why you so mad, bro?
It's not even a prince, it's a random gunner.
So, did anybody roll above 15 here?
I did.
I got 24.
Okay.
18.
What's my nat 20?
Kelly, you're still muted. I can feel you talking, though.
Do I have another fate card?
No, you did not get another fate card. You get to choose your initiative score in the next fight, though.
Yo! I already know it. And you already know it.
69.
It's 69.
But yes, as you guys are walking towards your ship, following along.
22, by the way.
Okay, so everybody other than Oliver Green. Oliver, you're too hyped on your own shit to notice, but the rest of them notice how stiffly Serafina is walking.
What?
Like she's
stick up her butt.
She's stiff legging, like she's got stick up her butt. She's very, very nervous.
She's nervous, or she's like keystering?
She's very, very nervous.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah.
She's talking a big game, but she doesn't fucking mean it at all.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you have a liberal arts degree. Like, all you can do is talk a big game.
So, as you guys separate these ships, that takes about 5 minutes, and Serafina begins casting Mirage Arcane into this massive illusion of a jungle that just stretches on for miles, but she makes a special note to not cover the actual combat area, the destroyed Spelljammer, the Temple to Bacchus, and the Red Rock compound. Those she leaves open and bare, and wraps this illusion around it like it had been before, as if someone had pierced that specific section of the illusion. It takes her around 10 minutes to weave this massive, mile circumference illusion. And at the end of it, she's looking pretty sweaty. And she goes, well, cards are played, pieces in place. It's do or die time, folks.
Well, I envision the scene in a video game where it's like, save your game progress because there's no turning back beyond this point.
That is indeed a pop-up you would see at this moment. So, you guys have about 5 hours to prepare. This spell will last for 10 days. Are there any last-moment preparations you would make? Any last conversations you would like to have with any NPCs before the prince arrives?
H.
Is there any coaching you want to give to Serafina?
H.
What should she say? Is there any requests from Crow? Any materials you're looking to obtain?
I don't know.
Do you want to get a hold of Lucius and just give him lizard titties?
Should we let the other crews know about if they can set glyphs of warding on certain areas, do so to protect themselves?
I just look at Malia. I just look at Malia. I'm pretty confident, and I just whisper in your ear, "We're the youngest crew amongst them. They've already
Sure.
figured that part out."
So is there anywhere you would like? Because I have 3 third level slots for glyphs of warding, and it can cover a 10-foot area. Is there anywhere that you would like me to put this?
Use those spell slots for when we're in like immersive situations when we truly either need the healing or we're already dead and you just need to escape.
Okay, fair enough.
Did you use your heroic inspiration, Dread?
Yes.
Okay. During a short rest, we're going to take a short rest on this, at least one of these 5 hours.
Obviously, yes.
And I'm going to give him back his his heroic inspiration.
Brilliant.
Okay.
I shall have it again.
Another
I'm going to write on my sheet that I haven't. The initiative for the final combat is 69.
And then
For final combat.
yeah, I just think of it this way, like pretty much anything we plan for is just going to be eaten up and destroyed as soon as we start having a real fight.
Yeah, all hell's just kind of break loose. Yeah.
So
You could try to theorize as much as you want, but if we don't actually
I did kind of try to give you hints at what you could do.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. You caught me on the fly here. If I had actually 5 hours, I'm pretty sure I'd come up with something.
We have a week, man.
Yeah. I'm not going to start the final fight this late, but there is one thing I do want to do before we get off.
Something that we do know.
Like I said, maybe some ideas. Maybe you guys should coach Serafina on what you should have her say, how you think she should word this challenge. Maybe there's things you might... last-minute materials you might need for spells that you could ask Crow if she could obtain in the next 5 hours.
That I'm good.
Maybe you could just flirt with Lucius.
One thing that we do need to understand is that these... the Night Spider ships... Like, they said there was going to be 3 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a total of 3. 1 was going to go to Crow, and 2 others were kind of, like, up for debate. Like, when we go in, and I know we're trying to isolate down where the prince and stuff is, like, having a Night Spider probably over our own ship, or in collaboration with one of our own ships, is probably huge. Is trying to board somebody who can be a Space Helm with us and trying to take down a Night Spider by ourselves even feasible?
Who do you got in mind? We only got one Spelljammer, and then we got Serafina, and she's gonna be busy.
No, I know. That's why
Ratchet can also pilot.
That's why I'm wondering if
pilot.
within the next while should we try to gather somebody else who can also Space Jam for like a backup.
You guys have a backup pilot.
But like one for us to bring onto another ship to take it over.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if Savik were to continue piloting this ship,
yeah,
for the whole flight, you guys still have Ratchet.
In other words, Ratchet gets to pilot the other ship.
Ratchet is a pilot.
Ratchet's a pilot?
Ratchet is a pilot and a chef. Those are his 2 main skills.
And then once we're high enough level, we'll be able to pilot it ourselves.
No, I get that, but like
well,
I know
mean, after this final fight, assuming you guys win, that would make you level 9. You guys are going to get a level just for encountering the prince, win or lose. And then you guys are going to get another level if you beat him.
Okay. So maybe we have to get Ratchet kind of prepared. Like, on the ship work that he's gonna be doing, and then he has to like I think we have to get our people ready for the maneuvers that we might encounter. Like if he's helping fix up the ship while we're fighting, if we're just like we're making a move to go in on a night spider, and you have to be ready, like you have to save those spell slots to take it over, like we're going in. I think we have to kind of get the whole crew more or less prepared on strategy on like what they should be doing at certain moments in the fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because we have agreed that we are gonna like board another ship, but
So I'm gonna ask like a lot of the other captains. So which ships are the most sought after to be boarded?
To be boarded, the most sought after ones would be like the highest monetary worth ones, the ones that people are going to be fighting over once it comes time for salvage to be disputed, are going to be the 4 night spiders.
Called it.
So if that's the case, okay.
But
and
the
then,
next down the line would be the Star Moths.
Star Moth.
And then the leftovers are kind of all of these Wasp ships.
perhaps
I don't
say
want to give you dollar signs. But
That's
Yeah.
fine.
I'll tell them is like let's just focus down all the Wasp ships first. Get rid of all of those. Tell all the captains. We're gonna focus fire as many Wasps down and instantly just vaporize them. Once we have those threats off the board, then we can move in closer to the Moths.
To the
Some of you
moth.
guys might be able to board it.
Nice.
Okay.
The ones that aren't damaged enough.
Okay.
The brick boots are really all kinds of on board for that. Wasp ships aren't worth much.
Which is fine.
Even with the guns on them, most of the ships here in the fleet are more expensive.
Man, you save up enough dimes, you're gonna make a few dollars.
But potentially, if you guys do challenge the prince and the 2 ships, the 2 fleets get close enough for this sort of thing, potentially the 2 ships could interact in a surprise round that way.
Ooh.
Okay.
Do you want to advise Serafina on how to do this message? Do you want to advise Crow's boarding parties on which ship specifically to target?
Well, I figured that they're gonna just do what they want. Okay, so if I get a choice in the matter, then sure.
Like, you could just say, hey, we're gonna the Titans requested this one, and then go to the Titans and be like, hey, go hit this one. This is the one we want you to hit. Like, you have a list of these ships' names.
So we're gonna board the Scarlet Spider first.
Okay.
And then they can board the Shadow Tempest. That's the one that they can have. Then we're gonna try probably the Iron Arachnid next. Silken Stripe. If you guys see the prince before we do, let us know. Once the prince's ship is identified, we're gonna obviously board that one. If you guys board any other ship beyond that, that's fine. At that point, I just say to the rest of the actually to Serafina, like, because you're asking what we want to say with Serafina, like, and I'm trying to come up with how we want to word that. Like, does anyone have any ideas what they would say? Exactly.
Speak from the heart.
Just telling mama jokes.
Well, Serafina, what led you to this moment? Why would you be calling him out?
She kind of sighs. She's been pacing back and forth under the deck, in one of the private cabins. And is like, well, I feel more confident. Not confident, but more confident that we could possibly do this. All the pieces are lining up in our favor. And the best shot we have of beating my brother is to get him alone.
What you're saying is take out his guards that's surrounding him, because I'm sure he's not going to be alone.
Assuredly not. The Royal Marines will almost assuredly be occupying his entire ship.
So
My idea was to challenge my brother and ask him for safe passage to board his ship and challenge him to group combat. Although, I could also, I suppose, challenge him to single combat and just break the rules of single combat and have you attack him.
I wouldn't ask you to challenge him in single combat unless you were overconfident that you'd be able to take him, but you don't seem like you're in that state of being, which is fine, trust me. But I do feel in group combat, as you put it, you're going to be the one that's need to put him down. We're going to try our best to weaken him, to make sure he's hurting. But if you're not the one that's going to deliver the final blow, I can't guarantee how easy someone else might do it. And if there's an accident, such as the loss of his life, I can only guarantee that we tried.
If my brother doesn't survive this combat, I understand. He is not the sort of opponent we can underestimate, and if you judge it that the safest option is to end his life, I understand. I will harbor you no ill will.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I'm thinking that we're going to be able to, let's just say, put him to sleep for a while until he's woken up, bound up, and chained.
Hopefully. We do have rope, right? And chains? Red, you have chains, right?
We definitely have rope and chains.
Yeah, but they're back in my my coffin.
in your other coffin?
No, not my travel coffin.
Well, I suppose there's no other way to it then.
No, I can go get them.
Well, definitely go get them.
Oh, but it's so far and my legs are so tired. Okay.
She's gonna walk.
Wait,
up
we're on
to
a different ship though.
No, you guys are on your ship now. Those
Oh.
two ships have separated. You guys are making your final preparations.
Okay. I go grab my chains.
So she walks to the second deck, up to your guys' communication orb, puts her hands on it, and says, Sylvanas, by right of the eldest child, as the rightful ruler of the Silver Star Empire, I challenge you to honorable combat. My honor guard and you, and your honor guard, shall engage each other to the last. The terms being surrender or death. Should my loss be inevitable, I ask only that they be allowed to survive.
That's wishful thinking.
And after a few moments, you see her brow furrow as she nods and says, well, he definitely got my message and is very much unhappy.
I was just looking. I was kind of waiting, hoping that you waited till we revealed ourselves. But okay.
You didn't tell me to do that.
Yeah, I said wait until we were all fighting. That way, so you could put an end to this.
Oh. I don't think I caught that part. No, really, I don't think I caught that part. I thought you were having her issue the challenge to get the ships closer to each other.
Nah.
No. I was waiting till
We
they're
can
close.
retcon that part back.
Yeah, let's just
Thank you.
wait because I was thinking
I'll
like
retcon
wait
that
till they're
part.
close, so we're fighting. That way we're. It's like you could put an end to this right now.
You could. You won't though.
Okay. I will let you... I will save that speech for later. I will let you make the decision when she's supposed to send that message. We'll retcon that part out. But you see her in her room practicing that speech.
Okay, there we go. That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, she could just practice.
Anyways, yeah, actually, it's like one of those situations where I don't really know what else to prepare. This is gonna be one hell of a fight.
That's it. That's good.
I mean, do you guys have any spells that require any components? I know I don't.
No, me neither.
Do we have any ideas to what we might need to do? Might want to do, as far as like, I don't know, setting up anything.
Not on my part.
I know you and Maya were wanting to set up a glyph of warding, but that's how many diamonds do you have actually? Kelly.
Yeah.
0.
One down?
Checking.
Oh, I thought we had one down.
Nah, just this fucking app. As soon as I mute myself, I refresh it in order to get myself. I have gold and platinum.
It wouldn't even be considered money. It's
Yeah,
like
it would be
a-
under items.
Yeah, it'd be like an item.
Or
I imagine it's none.
Yeah,
Probably-
But she is diamonds. She is diamonds.
How
when?
much? He's like,
I know I gave you guys at least 350. I gave you guys enough for a raised dead. And then more.
Okay, let's just say she
I have to
has
flip back through my
350 at
notes to
least.
see exactly.
Okay. So actually, with that being said, Kelly, what I'm saying is, if you have at least 300 gold pieces, you can actually prepare Revivify if someone goes down. If we accidentally kill the prince, can you revivify the prince? You'll have 1 hit point, and then it's like, ha, I brought you back, and then you got 1 hit point. I karate chop you non-lethally and knock you out.
I do have. Did I have that?
Because you can
It's
cast
like
30 with a spell.
Yeah, 1 hit point.
Revivify.
I do have Revivify.
Perfect.
Yes. Revivify confirmed.
That's what we need.
I also have Death Ward.
Wait, what level's death? Oh yeah, that's 4th level.
Yeah.
So far,
So I
you
only
guys have
have one.
gotten you guys have gotten 470 GP in diamonds.
Yeah, I do have Death Ward, but I only have 1 4th level spell slot.
Yeah, it's not really worth it on that.
Yeah. I did also prepare banishment just in case. In case we get into a tight spot.
Okay, so hold that thought then, because that you might be able to just like remove somebody from the combat altogether, and that could be very helpful.
Yeah. But again, I just have one. I just have 1 4th level, so I wish I had more, but alas.
I prepare fireball just in case.
Love it.
I'll rely on that. I didn't ask if there were orphans in the room. I cast fireball.
I didn't ask how big the room was. You said we had 450 diamonds? Or
Yep.
400? Okay.
450 gold pieces worth.
It says a diamond is worth 5,000 gold pieces, though.
Yeah.
That's just one example.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
You can add it into notes or something like that, and however you want.
Okay.
Like add custom item if you want.
Okay. So then how many diamonds is worth 450 gold pieces?
You say diamond 450 GP. Like you just write, like you just edit it or something like that.
So one big chunk of diamonds worth 450.
Thank you.
Yeah, typically like kind of interchangeable. It's like if you got enough. I don't like the min-max. The idea of if you have diamonds, like in different values, it's like no, like it's just based off of how many gold pieces it's worth.
Gotcha.
I'm sure if you're very much more realistic in DM, and you can get really nitty gritty with it, but I'm like relevance, irrelevant, flow of the game. Who cares?
Yeah.
No, I'll be honest, I usually don't pay a lot of attention to spell components.
Yeah, they're usually an afterthought.
Yeah.
That's why I like silence so much, because people are like, I didn't realize how many spells are fucking verbal.
Yeah. No, I mean, like Caleb was asking, do you guys need any spell components? I was like, yeah, sure. I have a small parchment with a bit of holy text written on it, or I have a piece of down, or...
So the way it works is you have an arcane focus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your arcane focus is actually a substitute for literally any material component that doesn't have a number as far as value next to it. Like X gold pieces worth. So all of that, it just means you're holding out your focus. Like, if for whatever reason you're unable to hold out your focus, you can't provide material components for your spell.
Gotcha.
You just need to have your focus on your person for verbal component only spells.
Gotcha. Yeah, because Revivify is the only one that I know of that has that specific requirement. I'm sure there are other ones, but just me as a novice, that's the only one I can think of.
That's good. And I don't have any spells that require it either. What about you, Dredd? What's your spell list? Do you even have spells?
I sure do, buddy.
Oh, you do?
I took up plant growth, shatter, invisibility, shield, featherfall, dissonant whispers. You know.
You did use feathers, I remember that.
Instant whispers.
Hex.
Okay.
The simple things in life.
Combat oriented. Very nice.
Well, yes, all my flourishes really amplify my bite. And it really goes a long way. Now that I know how to strike twice, I think the swiftness in battle will turn in our favor.
Columbo, question.
Yes.
Is there anything that you need as far as like? I mean, you got like a hand cannon. Do you use any special ammunition? Is there a possibility Crow might be able to get you some special ammunition or something?
I think I was planning on doing it, and then I forgot. No, I didn't forget, but stuff happened.
You
I
had an
never
episode
forget it.
where you forgot about a lot of stuff, and then you got it all back instantly.
Yes. So yeah, ammo would be good. Some sort of magical ammo. I could probably just, I don't know, hammer some crosses into these bullets, make it extra worse for people.
Explosive shotgun
I-
shells.
Is there any way Crow can get us any +1 ammo?
Yeah.
Sorry, you said plus
There is
12
a-
ammo,
there-
right?
That'd be nice.
+1 ammo is something they would keep quite a bit of on hand. There is one problem with that though. Delumbo's gun produces its own ammo.
Well, which one?
The overcompensator.
Okay, but the regular one.
Yeah, the regular one doesn't do that. But your laser pistol and the overcompensator do.
Yeah.
Do you use the other one at all?
Yeah, I dual wield.
Oh, okay.
And I start spinning them.
But yeah,
Well, I mean, that could be a request.
let me bring up one thing real quick. I have to check how expensive they are. Because that would dictate how much she has access to. Oh, they've got this shit in boatloads. Okay. So yeah, you guys approach Crow to ask her if the Swan or the Snakebite have any +1 ammunition in stock. And she's like, yeah, we've got all kinds of standard small caliber rifles and such. We've got a few crates of +1 ammunition we could give you at no cost.
Okay. Well, Delumbo, looks like today's your lucky day. Crow came through.
Excellent.
Let me just fly over to the Snakebite and fetch some. Is there anything else you need?
Ellerina, is there anything that you need?
Do I need anything?
Any spell components?
This is like checking all the kids
Sure.
before you go on a road trip.
We are using spell components, are we?
You're all
Yeah.
the way before we left, right?
What do I need? I guess
Stuff,
sulfur and bad guano.
Nope, Fireball doesn't need
Something-
components if you use your arcane focus.
Awesome.
It's anything that costs gold pieces.
Yeah. Even lightning bolt uses money. The crystal rod. I don't think I need any components. A chip of mica. Mica for shatter.
No, your
that cost money?
focus like takes care of all of that as long as
Oh,
it
then
doesn't
I'm
have a
good.
gold piece. Yeah.
Then I'm good.
And then what about you, Dread? What did
Yeah.
you say? Did you need anything?
How about this?
No, sorry. I thought you asked for plus 12 ammo.
Well, I already added that to your character sheet, Steven. You have that.
Oh.
You just have to refresh.
Okay. Well, that sounds like we're all good. This is getting scarier because we're getting closer and closer to the big moment. Tensions are getting high.
Okay, so she flies over to the Snakebite, chats with a couple Marines over about 10-20 minutes, fetches the small crate of ammunition and brings it back to Delumbo. Delumbo, you're the proud owner of 60 pieces of +1 ammunition.
60. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Right.
How about you, Skeleton Man? Will fell asleep.
I wish to murder.
You wish to violence?
Wingding's
I wish
like,
to violence.
all I need is a target in front of me.
I accidentally
know.
talked while I was muted.
I want to learn to. I got a new whacking stick.
Be careful with that. The Exarch of Freya gave that to me.
This will be
What?
my keep away
Oh,
from
Exarch?
whacking stick.
An
Yeah,
actual
Exarch.
Exarch?
An actual, yeah. Well, Torfin's an Exarch too, you know.
No, I didn't. What?
Yeah. He's the Exarch of Freyr.
Like, is there anything
I also
that you
know the
guys aren't?
Exarch of Odin.
Are you an Exarch?
No. Unfortunately, no gods have had the, what's the phrase? Audacity to choose me.
Will you choose yourself?
Well, I mean, I can't be my own Exarch. I'm not a god.
I mean, you act as if like you just like converse with gods on a like it's nothing. Like what? What?
I mean, it's a great honor, but yeah. Torfin talks with Freyr a lot. In his sleep, usually. Torfin's like, sorry about that. I'm asleep. It's very good food, though.
I feel like more and more I'm just so out of my league.
How many Exarchs do you know?
Well, let's see. Torvin. Zidane. I mean, technically Miwa. Nope, just the three.
That you know, most people go their entire lives never meeting one.
Yeah. I'm not
Like
most people.
Like entire nations will like rise and fall without coming across an entire being known as an Exarch.
Yeah, I know it's a pretty big deal. I mean, down there you've got the Exarch of Auril on the planet, so it's a pretty big deal. But once you're at a tier 4 combatant like the Titans, it doesn't matter anymore. Those are the only things that matter. It's mundanity to you now. When you can chuck around meteors and teleport spelljammers, these things start becoming normal.
Holy shit.
Is that what it takes to be noticed by the gods?
Yeah.
So prayer does nothing.
And Torfin's like, shut the fuck up, Crow. Yeah. Prayer, the gods do hear your prayers. Occasionally, they'll even personally answer them.
You guys are sending
And
mixed
he, like,
reviews
pats
here.
you on the shoulder and is like, I assure you, the gods do exist and they do care.
What would it happen if I were to pray?
Holy shit, is that a skeleton?
Yes.
Oh boy.
I should.
Oh, wait, I remember you now.
Why is your hand
Yes,
glowing?
I definitely was maybe not about to radiant bolt that man.
Why would...
I just look at.
Alright, it's a knee-jerk response when it comes to the undead.
Mhm.
The damn fear barely gets it. He's on thin fucking ice.
Ha.
This really is. It's where he lives exclusively.
But yes, watch out. Is there anything I could do for him? I just woke up, but I feel like it's been here a really long time. Those barrels are very comfy.
Yeah, yes, they are. But normally we don't sleep in a full set of armor when that's the case.
No, you don't?
That
I do.
that doesn't look very comfortable.
It's surprisingly comfortable. You get used to it.
Okay. Thank you, Torvin, for helping with making sure there's no outsiders boarding the ship. I'm pretty confident in. What is it like to be an exarch?
Well, you're filled with a holy purpose. You know the answers that the gods need, and generally it's the slaying of the undead. Yeah. Chief among them.
I look at both the undead on my ship.
Cough, cough.
What are you looking at?
I got told they get a pass. Bullshit, though.
Right?
At least I get to kill some
Isn't it?
Xenos, though. That's gonna be fun.
Right?
Been a while since I killed Xenos. Got so used to the people down on the planet, I keep forgetting that technically I'm a Xeno.
I'm afraid of you.
You should be.
And just, like I say that without meaning to say it out loud. It's like kind of like oops. I gotta really
Good
learn
luck
to
to you in your battle, and here, have some pocket meat. And he hands you a piece of beef jerky.
No,
Can I get a
It's like
no, I want it.
But of course, little one.
I give it to Dread.
Can you accept not? How can you not accept food from an exarch?
Dread appreciates this more than you know.
He said he wanted it, and I appreciate it. Actually, I rip off half and give it to him.
Oh,
I eat
plenty
the
of
other half.
pocket meat.
I
to go
am
around.
now disappointed. Half? It's okay.
I take back the other half.
He gives Dredd his own personal piece of pocket meat.
No, don't encourage bad behavior.
Okay, I take my pocket meat and I dip it in my smoothie and then continue to eat.
Why are you still carrying that around? Oh,
I haven't finished it.
oh. At first, I was wondering, like, that there was a bad smell in the room, and I thought it was maybe just you because by nature.
Right.
But now I deed the source.
Yeah,
That's gross.
it's fueled.
I don't know. I could probably eat that.
Here, I
had to.
trade him for more jerky.
He like smells it and goes. Ugh.
What? You some kind of sissy?
I think that's just ground up meat and blood. That's
No,
not
he
even
didn't have
cooked.
that needs cooked.
It's not even
That's the worst
cooked.
pancake batter I've ever seen.
No, it's kind of chunky. It's got kind of like it's almost like a stew in a cup.
Yes, but it hasn't been like heated to a cookable temperature for an extended period of time until someone actually is enjoying eating it.
Why would you heat up a stew?
Dread.
Yeah.
Dread. Why?
What?
Why do you
What?
just stray so far from every known normal?
Why do you stray so far from God?
I don't know. When I was in prison, they would just give me cold stew, and I thought that's how it was just served. You mean like
Forget this.
you mean like they
Were you
heat?
by the Italians?
You mean like they heat it up to cook it, and then they let it cool down before they serve it?
Yes. Stuff has a different flavor when it's been cooked properly.
Are you saying that I've been
And
enjoying?
season?
I've been enjoying stew completely wrong this whole entire time.
You're free to enjoy things how you like, but I wouldn't.
No,
do
not
that
stew.
way.
You have to warm that up. That's like straight up heresy. I'm an exarch. I know a thing or two about what heresy is.
Dread
Like,
feels like he's been bamboozled.
Like eating cold stew. What the fuck?
If Dread had nothing to live for before, after the fight, he has to try warm stew.
He had a date that too.
Yeah, cross the date out. He has warm stew to try.
You can have stew on the date.
You could get that before the fight. Have something to live. Well, I would say have something to live for, but I don't think that applies in your case.
It's true. True. I have a date and warm stew. I'm gonna at least have one satisfying thing after the fight.
Wait till he finds out about nachos.
With warm queso.
I think he might be allergic.
If anything, Red, I assume that you would want it warm because when you drink fresh blood on tap, it's warm. So why would you have it? Why would you have a meat slushy when it's cold?
All I envision is like it's actually now like one solid coagulated chunk.
Mm-hmm.
Just like chewing on it like a.
That's gross.
No, man. I've got like
Are
one of
those
those.
enriched ice cubes? that
No,
they
I've
put
got
in?
like
exactly. Yes, that's what I was trying to get
Yeah.
at. I was trying to think about. I couldn't figure out.
No,
I got
no,
you, man.
no. I've got a curly straw on it.
It wouldn't get through the straw.
Yeah, you know how thick that thing is?
Yeah.
The blood
It's like a
comes out.
boba curly straw.
Like take a curly straw and try and put it in a thing of peanut butter. You're not getting anywhere.
The blood thins it out.
You'll pass out before it gets anywhere an inch up. You're gonna be on the floor passed out.
Wait. Can you even use a straw? Do you have breath?
I don't have
No,
to
you
breathe.
can breathe.
I can breathe. I could choose not to breathe.
Wingdings, can you use a straw?
So like the
Asking the real questions.
like you know how
Suck
like
on that straw.
we're on basically like life support inside like all these ships. Like I choose to breathe that.
So you're wasting our air.
Wingdings, are you awake enough to answer this question?
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay. No, Wingdings, actually, you know,
Yeah.
we've only got hours before, you know, potentially our impending doom. So certain questions kind of need to be asked, and you're free to answer them if you're willing. One of them is, could you follow me to the kitchen?
Yes.
He wants you to suck
Alright.
from a curly straw.
I just need to see. First off, or Ratchet, where are you at?
Ratchet?
See, Ratchet is below deck. He's like getting his things in order. He's got a gun. He's like, hey, boss.
Question. I need to know. This is of vital import. Can you make a $5 milkshake?
Yeah, hold on. Let's go to the kitchen. And you're like, it only takes him about 20 minutes to whip up this milkshake, but he whips up a batch of them. And Torvin, seeing this, is like, my God.
I guess
Here,
I'll
let
go
me
take
help
a
you.
milk-
Let's make a real meal.
I guess I'll
Let's
go
eat
get a
some lunch.
milkshake.
I just woke up. I'm kind of hungry.
I guess I'll eat more food. Why not?
So, as he's doing this, Torvin like sets out the plates and stuff, claps his hands together, pulls out a bowl, does the Macarena, and casts Hero's Feast.
Holy shit. Okay.
Hey.
Yes, thank you. Okay, for those of you that don't know, Heroes Feast is going to really be very beneficial for us. It's going to get temporary hit points. Well, not temporary hit points, actual hit points for a temporary amount of time until we take a long rest. And then we have advantage on. Well, actually, they changed it up a little bit. So do we? I don't know if we have advantage on saving throws, wisdom saving throws anymore.
I have to look at the spell. I think
I
you
think
still
we
get
do.
advantage. I think you still get advantage. I don't think you have any immunities from it now.
Oh, okay. So we're no longer immune to poison and fear.
Yeah, I don't think you are.
Hold on, let me do a little search myself. Then.
Cleric. Cleric spells.
Spell.
Cleric spell.
Oh,
Level-
this is D&D Beyond Legacy.
Okay.
You conjure a feast on a surface in an unoccupied 10-foot cube next to you. The feast takes 1 hour to consume and disappears at the end of that time. The beneficial effects don't set in until this hour is over. 12 creatures can partake in this feast. You have resistance to poison damage, immunity to the frightened and poison conditions, and its hit points maximum is reduced or increased by 2d10, and it gains the same number of hit points.
Okay. So resistance to poison damage and immunity to frightened in the poison condition. Now that's flipping awesome.
Think they made it better?
Yes.
And we can have pretty much everyone on the ship partake in this.
Yep.
Really?
Well, so your NPC companions, you have 10 of those.
Oh.
Plus Crow, plus Torvin.
They can watch us eat.
They can watch us eat.
Well, no, Ratchet can make food for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys aren't heroes for the feast of heroes. I don't say that to their face because the peons don't like being called peons.
Interns.
At least
Okay.
these interns, well, no, they're unpaid interns.
Mm-hmm. Which,
Wait.
I mean,
How are they going unpaid? I thought we were paying them. Then this is substantially more than they're being paid.
So the grungs are only here because you guys helped them protect their home. They said they'd come and fight for you this time.
Mm-hmm.
Savik doesn't want money. He just wants a thing. You don't know what the thing is. You never asked him about that.
mm-mm.
And Ratchet wanted $250 and a gun.
A PD and a gun.
So what you're telling me is my entire crew is actually like just temporary workers that the moment this is over, they're going to go, peace.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe. Depends on how you treat them.
No.
Um,
I'm sure you could get Ratchet to stay on full time.
I
Can't
like
do that
having
one
a
thing
cook.
for him.
I don't like having a bloodthirsty, ravenous cook, but he's calming down. Yeah, Savik, I wonder what the thing he wants is. That's not gonna come back to bite us at all.
Not in the slightest. Probably fine.
Haha.
But yeah,
That's
after
funny.
you guys are done eating this feast, you feel rejuvenated, energized, and other descriptive words. And then as you whittle the hours away, getting the guns ready, getting your gear ready, finally you see around 20 beams of glittering light beginning to descend from out in space. Descending towards the rock. You guys understand you have about 10, maybe 15 minutes before they arrive, as you can see the enemy fleet beginning to close into engagement distance.
Oh no. Do you want me up on a grassy knoll somewhere?
You mean on the gun of the ship?
I shall be
Yes.
on the large gunner.
On a
of the ship.
grassy gun of the ship.
I think that's a good place to stop for tonight.
All right.
Agreed.
And then we will have
What?
formations.
Destroy.
Yeah, like I said, whenever you want Seraphina to send the message and challenge her brother, just give her the word. That
Now.
will be her action in combat.
Now. Bird, bird, bird.
A bird's the word.
Oh, so you want her to do it like as soon as they drop onto the scene?
I think that would be best.
Um,